how to calculate any cube root. Now the only thing you have to memorize is the cubes of these 10 numbers. So the cube of 1 is 1, the cube of 2 is 8, the cube of 3 is 27, and so forth. And these 10 numbers are the only thing you need to memorize in order to calculate the cube roots. So we're going to find the last digit of each of the cubes because this will become important later on, as you'll see. So last digit of the cube of 1 is 1, last digit of the cube of 2 is 8, and so forth. So if we fill out this chart, you start to notice something interesting. Every single cube of the numbers 1 through 10 ends in a different last digit. So if we use these numbers, there's a simple way to memorize the last digits of each of the cubes from 1 to 10. A 1 is a 1, and then a 4 is a 4, a 5 is a 5, a 6 ends in a 6, the cube of a 9 ends in a 9, and the cube of a 10 ends in a 0. So these two are the same. So the numbers 1, 4, 5, 6, 9, 9, this is 9, and 0 all have the same last digit of their cubes as themselves. So, and then all you have to memorize are the 2s, the 8s, and the 3s, and the 7s. So these kind of just switch places. The cube of a 2 ends in an 8, the cube of a 8 ends in a 2, as you can see. The cube of a 3 ends in a 7, and the cube of a 7 ends in a 3. So these just flip, and that's an easy way to memorize it. And you'll see how this comes into play. So now that you've memorized this chart and we explained this, let's go back to the actual analyzation of a cube root. So let's say we have this number, 195,112, and we notice it ends in a 2. So using this chart, any cube of a number that ends in 2 also ends in an 8. So to find the cube root, we use an 8 as the last digit. Now we cancel all of this stuff out. The last 3 digits we cancel out, and we have a 195 left. We go back to our chart, and we look at all of the cubes. These are the ones that you memorize, the only memorization you need, and we find the cube that's the closest to this number, but below that number. So in this case, this would be a 5. So you would take the number 5 and put it in the front. And we'll go through other examples later on. So if we check this, 58 times 58 times 58 equals 195,112. So let's do a different example. Try to follow along at home, so I'm not going to tell you guys what I'm actually multiplying to get this number if you want to try it out yourself. So let's say we have the cube root of 912,673. So it ends in a 3, which means that the cube root has to end in a 7. Now if we cancel the last 3 digits, then we have 912. Refer to our chart, then the first number must be a 9 because 729 is below 912 and 1000 is above 912. So this is the smallest number that is underneath 912. That's the closest to it. So it would be 97. And if we multiply that into my calculator, as you can see, 97 times 97 times 97 equals 912,673. Now I'm going to go ahead and do one last example with, I'm going to try to choose one of these numbers so it's easier because I demonstrated the switch up here from 2 to 8 and the 3 to 7. But all of the rest are simpler. So once again, follow along at home if you want to do this one before I do. We're going to find the cube root of this number. So a 6. You know that a cube of 6 ends in a 6, so the last number of this cube must be a 6. We take out the last 3 numbers, and we're left with 175. We go back to the chart here. Oh, 175 is less than 216, so it can't be 216, so it must be 125. So, and the cube root of 125 is a 5, so we plug that in the front, 56, and that's your answer. If you see what I plugged in to get this answer, see what I plugged in to get this answer? 56 times 56 times 56 equals 175,616. So I hope you learned how to calculate cube roots in your head, and I hope this was informative. Thank you.